In this video, I will explain a few things I wish I knew before investing a few years ago, and name the key points you gotta be aware of. You maybe realize you do the same things as I did and are reminded to be aware of them, or just get a better understanding. If you continue watching this video, you will also hear about my experience in these points and some explanation about these in more depth. Hopefully, this will help you gain a better understanding and not make the same mistakes as I did. So let's get right to it. Welcome to Future Cash, where it's all about the future of assets in the form of passive income. The first thing you gotta know is don't talk about your investments to close family members or close friends. Next is to pay your high interest debt like credit cards. Then make sure you have a long-term investment plan. Another one is to plan an exit strategy and profit taking. One very important thing is understanding tax implications of your country. And what you may not forget is to also build an emergency fund. And next up is educate yourself about investment risks. Make sure you also diversify your investments. Then you gotta set a clear financial goal. And you got to time assess your financial health. And then if you really are getting into a lot of money here, seek professional advice if needed. It's never wrong. Make sure you also understand the time horizon for your investment and learn about the different investment strategies or vehicles you got. And in the end, consider your risk tolerance. Don't compare yourself to others. And what you shouldn't forget is don't listen to mainstream media. Most of them are owned by big corporations and they are pushing the agenda. So now you have a list of things you got to keep an eye out before you invest any money in order to safely say that you are ready. So let's take a closer look what I mean by those. If you are new, you might be talking about your friends and family about cryptocurrencies and investments and stocks you're owning, but remember, once the price goes up, many people get jealous around you, and I'm talking about more than 90%, and they won't be talking to you. You might be losing a lot of friends on the way. And in the end, when the stock goes down or cryptocurrency, they might be laughing at you and saying, "Ha, you lost something." And a lot of people get scared because they hear, "Oh, you know, my uncle lost a lot of money on the stock market, so I'm not touching those." Or, you know, this other guy lost a lot of cryptocurrency and he lost a lot of money in that. I'm scared to invest in that or touch that. That's why keep it for yourself and do your own education about your investments. Of course, you may talk to them and say, "Yeah, you know, I do some investments or have some cryptocurrency or something." But don't get into details how much you have or how much money you're invested in, and sure, don't post that online. In my experience, it is really important to pay off your credit card debt as soon as possible. High interest loans can quickly erase any potential investment gains due to their hefty fees. So imagine you hear some great news about Bitcoin and using your credit card to buy some. So when you have your salary, you're gonna have to pay your credit card debt instead of using that to invest, and you don't know if that will be a better time than now. So at the end, you're just playing a guessing game when is the right time to get in. So in my opinion, pay this off as fast as you can and invest only the money you really have. Then it is important to create a long-term investment plan. If you consistently invest a set amount, like $100 per month, it helps build your portfolio and it takes advantage of the dollar cost average or DCA strategy. This reduces the impact of market volatility and builds wealth steadily over time. Remember, this is not financial advice. My videos are for educational purposes only. Do your own research before investing. Before we go on to the next step, if you like this video and learned a thing or two, please remember to like and subscribe so this channel can grow. So let's get right on with it. What I really think is important is to plan an exit strategy and profit taking before you invest any money anywhere. Decide in advance when and how you'll take profits. This discipline helps in avoiding emotional decisions and secures your gains. This also prevents holding onto investments longer than necessary. I'm sure you've also come across a stock or some crypto where you think this is going to continue going up and up and up, and at the end it goes back down and you're actually in a worse position than if you strictly stick to your plan. So basically set a plan, invest what you're ready to invest, and if it reaches your target goal, stick to that plan. Seeing prices go up and hoping to get more and more profits and start getting greedy is totally normal, but then when it goes down, you feel like an empty hole in your stomach, so you're losing more and more money. The next thing to do is to understand the tax implications. Know your country's investment gains tax. It can influence your strategy, particularly the difference between long-term and short-term gains, as they are being taxed totally differently. This knowledge can help structuring your investments to minimize liabilities and maximize after-tax returns. Remember, long-term tax is normally holding your investments more than a year, while some other countries than the US don't have any disadvantage when you buy a stock today and sell it tomorrow for a profit. Another thing to not forget, to build an emergency fund before you invest, and that should cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This provides financial security in case of unforeseen circumstances and prevents the need to liquidate investments prematurely during personal financial crises. So if you have cryptocurrency or stock, you don't have to sell them and then cash out, maybe even at a loss because you didn't plan your emergency fund. I've had this in the past. It's just some miscalculations I had with my expenses, and then in the end I had to sell some cryptocurrency to cash out some money. Another important thing is to educate yourself about the investment risks. Different assets come with different levels of risks. If you understand these risks, it helps you make informed decisions and select the right investments for your risk tolerance. It's also important to diversify your investments and don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversifying reduces the risk by spreading investments across different asset classes. This strategy helps mitigate risks and smooth out returns over time. So if you have for example, some stocks and some bonds and maybe some options or precious metals or cryptocurrency, it can be that one or two of these have some drop in value, therefore the others go up, so it kind of evens it out. And remember, an asset class doesn't mean 10 different types of stocks in different companies. It means a whole different class. So if you're holding bonds, stocks, cryptocurrencies, and REITs and mutual funds, then you're quite safe. REITs are real estate investment trusts, which are basically housing funds. I will explain this more detailed in a later video. What's really important is to set clear financial goals. Define what you want to achieve with investments. Are you saving for retirement, a house, or even education? Your goals will dictate your investment strategy and provide a roadmap for choosing the right assets and time frame. When the time comes and you actually can reach your goals with your investments, complete these goals and go for it. If your plan was to buy a house and you had some investment in stocks or cryptocurrency and you could then make a down payment to buy that house, do that. That means you keep reaching your goals step by step and you don't regret it if anything happens on the market, then you miss your goals. Well, later on down the road, if you amass a large amount of money and you're not sure where to invest or not sure where you have a lower risk investment, it's not wrong to seek professional advice when you need that. Or if you're not sure about your strategy, get some consulting or a financial advisor. Mainly for beginners, you can get professional advice for exactly your current situation. Another important step is to understand the time horizon for investments. Some goals require different time frames. So if you have investments that are for 10 years or investments that requires 1 year, you will be doing a different strategy than if you're just going to invest in something for when you're retired. What you should also remember is to keep learning about different investment vehicles. Apart from stocks and cryptocurrencies, there are bonds, mutual funds, ETF, REITs, and other options. You can even own a house and get some income from the tenants renting that space. In the end, consider your risk tolerance. Your choices should match your comfort level, and that helps maintain a peace of mind and let you sleep at night. And don't make quick decisions or FOMO into any projects, and do not compare yourself to others. So there you have it. You might be aware of these or doing some of these things, or you know them already, or you just might have learned a thing or two. And if you're prepared for investing, check out my next video. I'm going to go more in detail on these different investment vehicles and how they work, or where and what apps to use and where to sign up so it's easy to get started. So if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe so this channel can grow. And if you have any other subject you want me to talk about or make a video about, leave that in the comments below and let me know. So for now, have a good one. Thanks for watching.